This is a very controversial topic in the United States. I don't understand why. To me, it makes no sense. The world's largest battery manufacturer, CATL, contemporary Amperex technology company, CATL, I call them, has commenced production at its battery manufacturing facility in the United States, established through a partnership with Ford. It's a licensing agreement, right? Here are the terms of how it works. Ford owns the factory. Ford owns everything, the equipment, but they pay CATL amount. Basically, I think it's like a 5% margin for all the batteries that the factory produces. Obviously, CATL helped them set up the production lines, gave them the licensing for the LFP technology, showed them how to do it efficiently. Basically, Ford is probably manufacturing the lowest cost batteries in the United States because of CATL, but they pay CATL a fee per battery manufactured. The employees, by the way, the Chinese come in and help Ford to set it up, but essentially it's going to provide thousands of jobs to Americans, at least until robots take over. But in the interim, in the meantime, it'll provide a lot of work. And this facility is a really interesting shift in CATL's strategy globally, or particularly in the United States anyway. They've moved away from exports to integrated investment, and they had no choice in North America, really. But I think it's a really smart decision. On the Electric Viking website, I'll put a link in the description below. We have more articles about electric cars and battery technology than any other website that I'm aware of in the world. So check that out. Link is in the description. And there you'll find our videos and analysis and articles about everything going on in the EV world. In addition, CATL are preparing to launch production at its new factory plant in Hungary in Europe. And also they have a new battery factory in Indonesia as well. Now, here's what Car News China had to say. They said the collaboration, initially announced in February 2023, faced a turbulent path. That's for sure. Originally, Ford planned a $3.5 billion investment in a wholly owned lithium iron phosphate battery plant in Michigan with an initial design capacity of 35 gigawatt hours, capable of supplying batteries for 400,000 electric cars per year. But the project encountered huge political and economic headwinds. Politicians who wanted to just make a name for themselves and basically try and create outrage, they're the ones who tried to derail this project. In July 2023, US Republican lawmakers questioned the partnership, raising concerns over potential indirect subsidies flowing to CATL under the US Inflation Reduction Act. So, as you know, there's no incentives anymore for batteries and EVs in the United States. And anyway, this project doesn't qualify for those anyway. Project scaling. Following these pressures, the project was briefly suspended before being restarted in November 2023 with a reduced investment of $2 billion and a capacity of 20 gigawatt hours. Which is just stupid. Why would they have done that? Why reduce the capacity? They should be increasing it, if anything. The landscape grew more complex in 2025 following the change in US administration, the cancellation of national EV transition plans, and the early termination of EV tax credits in September 2025 forced Ford to record $19.5 billion in impairment losses related to its EV assets. Now, that's what Car News China said, but that's not really technically completely correct. The truth is, I am not a fan of Trump at all. Just want to put that out there. Some things Trump's done have been good, and some things he's done have been insane. And the guy I think he's bipolar. I think that unless he's some sort of brilliant genius, and I'm just missing the point of half of what he does, then honestly, I think he's kind of an idiot. But to be clear here, Trump didn't oppose this factory. In fact, he welcomed it. He said, if it's going to bring jobs to Americans, great. Who cares? Who gives a shit? That's basically what Trump said. So it wasn't really the Republican government, Trump, that stopped this battery factory from going ahead or tried to prevent it from doing so. It was, in fact, kind of the opposite. Now, that said, Trump wasn't going to go and encourage it. He wasn't saying, hey, great, let's pour some money into this, which is what he should have done. But anyhow, despite these challenges, the partnership has worked. Ford has adapted by diversifying the plant's output to include energy storage products. And that, when that was announced, and Ford actually announced that they had signed a contract with a client to deliver huge amounts of energy storage, Ford's stock price increased by 40%. In fact, 42% within a couple of days. It was crazy. We have never in Ford's history that I know of in the last 70 years seen Ford stock price increase 42% in basically from one announcement. Ford confirmed on June 17 that the facility has successfully completed the trial production of its first batch of prismatic LFP battery cells. These cells are currently undergoing testing for quality standards, aiming for a defect rate of 1 in a billion. 1 in a billion. I mean, that sounds a bit too anal retentive, but anyway. The plant will deliver its first batch of batteries in 2026, and these will go into Ford's economy and mid-sized electric pickup trucks. This will enable Ford to stop losing $30,000 on every EV it makes, which is what it did in the past. Insanity. Anyhow, when it comes to the actual testing process, it won't go for very long. They're basically just using the same exact production lines they use in China. They're just making sure that everything's all, everything's all linked up correctly, I guess you could say. These production lines are tested. They've put out billions of dollars of batteries already. So this is not some sort of novel battery chemistry where they need to check it and test it in cars and rah, rah. Anyhow, this is an interesting point here. One Chinese expert emphasized that the difficulties faced by the Ford project highlight the complexities Chinese companies encounter when expanding abroad. With tightening international regulations regarding tariffs, localization requirements, and carbon footprint standards, Meng said that the traditional export-only model is becoming increasingly unviable. Battery companies expanding overseas must prioritize compliance, he said, saying that Chinese firms must build robust regulatory capabilities and integrate into local communities by participating in the development of local standards and policies to secure a competitive edge. Anyway, all that's a bunch of hoo-ha, whatever. It is true, I guess. It's probably accurate in some places. The key takeaway is this. Lithium iron phosphate batteries, not sodium, will be the dominant battery chemistry in the United States, I believe, for the next 10 years. And they will dominate the market. Tesla's going to follow suit in terms of what Ford is doing. And I know, I'm pretty sure Tesla has signed a similar agreement with CATL to build LFP cells as well. And these will dominate the market. On cost, you just can't compete in the United States. I think that this will bring down the cost of EVs all across North America. The cost of EVs will come down. Now, of course, in Canada, the cost of EVs is going to come down because you're letting in Chinese EVs. But in the United States, that's not happening. So this is going to be the key driver behind the potential increase in EV sales in the United States. What do you think? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you for watching. Need expert advice on what car to buy, what solar system to get, what home battery to get, or potentially for your business? You can get, guys, a one-on-one consultation directly with me, 60 minutes of tailored guidance. This might help you avoid making a huge mistake spending money when you shouldn't, or potentially save you a massive amount of money. Click the link in the description below because I can assist you, and why not? The link is in the description. Thinking about getting solar, a home battery, or an EV charger? Check out Australia's best free comparison tool because it could save you a lot of money, guys. Click on the link below in the description and you can see how much you can save. Alternatively, give Resync a call. They are the guys who installed my battery and my home solar. I'll put a link to them as well in the description.